Hello everybody, Master University Doc here, and I promised that I would shoot this video as if nobody else was in the house, but since people are in the house, I'm gonna have to sound weird now, and I totally had the opportunity while nobody was in the house, but I fell asleep. Don't tell anybody. So, this video is gonna be part of mini videos I'm gonna be shooting tonight, so if I'm still wearing a weird shirt, if anybody gets the reference, don't judge me. Um, but this video is about just kind of what it takes to turn mountains into, I guess you would say, molehills. And I'm not gonna talk about some weird visualization technique. I know a technique that can kind of take things that are really big and like use metaphors and visualization to kind of like shorten it in your mind. But I'm just gonna share a story with you today where this is pretty much right after we had a huge snowstorm here on the East Coast, and it was more snow than our state tends to get, and it was a lot of snow for me to shovel off of my, new home. I mean, never really had my own property before. I was a lot, pretty much everything to my wife there, and basically we had like 2 feet of snow on the long ramp and a like three-car driveway that I had to shovel. And I'm like, man, I've been doing this since I was like 4 years old, back in North Carolina, where the snowstorm hit, and I just was young and dumb and didn't know that my dad was, probably working child labor laws. So, with that said, just kind of how I turned this monumental task, which at first seemed like no big deal, but started to become overwhelming. I think a lot of people get in business and they think, oh, this is going to be easy. I think a lot of people hype up business to make it sound like, this is going to be something you're going to do really, it's going to be like no big deal. You're not going to do a lot of work. You're going to make all this money. And it's like, no, it's not usually how it goes. No, you have to work. You have to put in a lot of consistent daily action in order to make this happen. So what happens is I get out there and I'm like, all right, no big deal. I got this. This is gonna be easy. I'm gonna shovel off the deck. And like, mind you, there's like 2 feet of snow. So like the deck is covered, I would say, um, in 2 feet of snow from like I'd say 2 yards going down, a yard going across, and then another 2 yards, like 5 yards. The width of my ramp is roughly a yard, and it's a pretty big ramp. Long story short, in our driveway, because of the snow plows coming through, totally snowed us in with our cars like barricaded by this huge mountain of snow. So I finally start to shovel the deck, and I'm like, yeah, this is nothing. I'm doing it, getting it done, and it's like no big deal. But then what happens next is really interesting. I get down to the driveway, and I don't feel any fatigue, but I feel a sense of dread. And I look at this huge pile of snow. The thing was as tall as I was. All right, all the way across. Our driveway is like 3 cars long, if you can think of width. And then I had to shovel around it, and then I kind of had to get this snow in front of them because we had work the next day, at least one of us. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, man, how am I going to get all of this taken care of? Like all of a sudden I was starting to doubt myself. I'm like thinking to myself, am I gonna be able to like do this before the sun goes down? Because it was getting late. I decided to wait till the last minute to get this done. And I get out there and I'm starting to shovel, and it's starting to become painful. Like man, I've been shoveling for an hour straight, no breaks. Like this is starting to get a little tiresome. And I start looking at this huge mountain, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just thinking to myself, how am I gonna conquer this mountain? Literally, has to be done, right? So, long story short, I looked at the mountain, and I know I said I wasn't going to do any visualization techniques, but what I did do is I did visualize myself getting the next portion done. I was like, all right, in the next 20 strokes, and I always did 25, so it was weird, but I was always kind of shooting, it's kind of going the extra mile each time. But every 20 strokes, I want this amount of the portion is going to be done. And I worked around it so that it wasn't as intimidating at first. It was kind of like all the snow, and then I worked it in a circle, and then I could kind of visualize how much of it was left and how much time it would take me to do each one once I did like 20 strokes. I'm like, okay, now I just got to take a 20-second break, and then I'm gonna get this part done. And I like envisioned myself getting it done and like that portion of the mountain missing. And then I did it. And all of a sudden, like when you visualize yourself doing the work and it being done and it like being gone, like that portion of the like snow mountain being like shoveled out, shoveling it's the easiest thing ever. And you just got to keep sitting there, take a break, visualize the next part, and you want to see it missing. It's like there's something that has to be, taken away from this. I already visualized it, so it has to be done, and it's not going to be hard. I can see it, I can feel it. I can sense how I would feel about getting that bit of a relief about having that little bit more done. Because looking at it right as it was huge. But looking at it in my mind was a little bit less, gave me the motivation to take those next 20 strokes. So, what does this mean for you in your business? Well, I eventually got out of snow shoveled. I mean, it's probably not a big deal to everybody, but like I was one guy, and it was a lot. That was like 2.5 hours of snow. My side still was kind of hurting from the left side from just the sheer amount of effort it took to get all of that snow like hauled, and I got nice fun blisters on my hands. And I mean, that's what it is. I'm a guy. I'm a parent now. I'm a husband, and I gotta be a man for my family and get that stuff done, right? And people came by and offered to help, and I said, no, I got this. I've been doing this since I was 4 years old, 24. Yeah, it's 20 years. Not really. But it's just when you kind of get overwhelmed, when that sense of dread overcomes you, envisioning it as if it's already done can definitely help you take the next step. And it's always baby steps. It's always baby steps. Take it from me. All right. When I first had our child, we didn't even know that the child couldn't suckle. Like we knew that she could look for food and get fussy and and cry out and send a signal that she needed to be fed. But when I put the bottle in her mouth when she was first born and she wasn't taking it, I thought she wasn't hungry. Turned out the nurses came up to me and said, suckling is a learned habit. She has to get used to doing it. I was just like, wow. Baby steps really do mean baby steps. So even if you don't know how to suckle to even get the milk in your business or the formula or whatever you want to call it, you have to try. You have to form the habit. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys this time. If you guys like this video, if you guys kind of got what I was kind of getting at, trying to deliver here, definitely like and subscribe. And look out for more videos. I'm going to start covering books. I'm going to start covering actual techniques for personal growth and development. I'm going to start covering more of the stuff that I covered before about the actual marketing and things like that. And I'm just going to keep it rolling. Try to do videos or just kind of talk about something. I mean, not necessarily something that's not valuable, but just tell you guys what's going on and just kind of what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling and how challenges in my business are being overcome by everyday obstacle handling and blah, 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 blah. So if this is on Facebook, like, share, like my fan page, Master University Doc, or facebook.com/, and then you can check out my Instagram page. I don't often put a link to that because it's not really entrepreneur yet, but it will be soon, and I'll have links. So definitely check out my other videos, and I will see you guys next time. Massive University Doc. You guys have a great day.